Verzweiflung hat ein großes Volk wieder Trieb gefasst.
Nazism was born out of the political chaos that Germany experienced after the First World War. The leader of the Nazi Party was Adolf Hitler, who had a highly ambitious and very aggressive nature. Hitler took an intensely racist standpoint. He firmly believed in the superiority of the German or Aryan race over the other races. His dream was that the German Aryan race would soon conquer the world and establish an empire that would last for 1,000 years. Darwin's theory of evolution appeared to provide a scientific basis for Hitler's own racist theories. Hitler also derived ideological support from the works of Heinrich von Treitschke, the racist German historian. Treitschke was greatly influenced by Darwin's theory of evolution and based his own racist views on Darwinism. He said, "Nations can only evolve through a fierce struggle similar to Darwin's struggle for existence." Hitler also derived inspiration from Darwin's struggle for existence. The name of his famous book, Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle, was a mere expression of this Darwinist concept. Indeed, Hitler, just like Darwin, rated the non-European races as little more than apes, and added, "Take away the Nordic Germans, and nothing remains but the dance of apes." The basis for the evolutionist views of the Nazis lay in the concept of eugenics. Eugenics meant the improving of the human race by weeding out sick and handicapped people and increasing the number of healthy individuals. According to the theory of eugenics, the human race could be improved in the same way that better kinds of animals can be bred by mating healthy specimens. As might be expected, the eugenicists were simply the Darwinists. At the head of the eugenics movement in England came Charles Darwin's cousin, Francis Galton, and his son, Leonard Darwin. It was evident that the theory of eugenics was a natural consequence of Darwinism. This fact is also made very clear in publications that promote this dubious science. To quote but one, eugenics is the self-regulation of one's own evolution. The first advocator and promoter of eugenics in Germany was Ernst Haeckel, the famous evolutionary biologist. He advanced the theory of recapitulation, which proposed that embryos of different species resembled one another. It was later realized that Haeckel made forgeries in the drawings that he used to propagate his assertion. Haeckel falsified his drawings in order to show fish, human, and chicken embryos were similar to one another. Some parts of the embryos he removed, and others he distorted. Even Haeckel himself later confessed that his drawings were works of forgery. However, evolutionist circles turned a blind eye to the forgery just to sustain the theory. While producing scientific forgeries, Haeckel also spread the eugenics propaganda. He suggested that disabled newborn babies should be killed as soon as possible in order to speed up the process of evolution in society. He went further and proposed that disabled, mentally retarded, and the genetically sick should be killed off right away. Otherwise, Haeckel argued, these people would place a burden on society and slow down evolution. Haeckel died in 1919, but the Nazis inherited his cruel ideas. A short while after Hitler seized power, he launched an official eugenics policy. The mentally retarded, the disabled, and those having hereditary diseases were collected in special sterilization centers. These people were considered parasites who posed a threat to the purity of the German race and hindered the progress of evolution. Indeed, in a short time, these isolated people started to be murdered at Hitler's secret command. In his effort to speed up the so-called evolution of the German race, Hitler murdered many people. Meanwhile, he pursued another requirement of eugenics. Young men and women with blonde hair and blue eyes, considered typical specimens of the pure German race, were encouraged to have sexual relations with one another. In 1935, special reproduction farms were established. SS officers frequently visited these farms, where young women who met the Aryan criteria had been housed. The illegitimate babies born on these farms were to become the future soldiers of the German Reich.